Oh, hello. It's time, once again, for the unstoppable juggernaut of frivolity that is Just a Minute to come crashing into your living rooms. And my guests, well, I have two regulars, and as usual, on my left, the captain of the London team, we have the demonic presence and the insouciant personality of the amazing Tony Slattery.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have with me a man who is the MP for Newham. He was also once entertainments officer for the Bader-Meinhof gang. A little-known fact is that he once appeared in a very naughty video called Men Who Spank Tortoises. His name is Mr. Tony Banks.
On my right, the captain of the Midlands team, a man who cannot live up to the introduction that Tony Banks has just received. He's the premier checkout boy, the genial host of Supermarket Sweep, Dale Winton.
And with me, I have a columnist, television presenter, chat show host and film reviewer. She's the only person ever to have conducted a live public interview with a frog. True. Please welcome Mariella Frostrup.
Well, the rules of Just a Minute are ridiculously simple until you start to play the game, and they're simply ridiculous. And they're going to try and make points for themselves. That's very important. But also they're going to make points for their teams to see which will be the victor at the end of this week's show, Midlands or London. And they try and do that as I ask them to speak on a subject that I give them, and they will try and do that without hesitation, repetition, or deviating from the subject. It all becomes clear as we play the game, and we begin with Tony Slattery. And Tony, the subject here is down the tube. Can you tell us something about that in this game, starting now?
Well, statistically, it's been proven that on the London Underground, the Northern Line contains the most number of suicides, and that's because there's nothing else to do. There are no trains there. Absolute emptiness and silence whistling through the tunnels.
Also, Dale.
I hate to mention it, but deviation, because silence doesn't whistle. Silent.
What a clever challenge, yes. As they say in show business, not just a pretty face.
Oh! As you said to me in my dressing room not an hour since.
Yeah, I know. Right. Dale, you have a correct challenge. So you get a point for a correct challenge. You take over the subject. There are 44 seconds left, starting now.
The London Underground is a myriad of tracks. You've got the Jubilee, Northern, Metropolitan, Circle, District, Victoria. They all lead to all four corners of Greater London. It costs, well, between £1.70 for the smallest journey, up and...
Deviation, it's £1.30.
Actually, he's right.
This is a man
He's
who
right,
knows his
you know.
underground.
Zone 1 and 2, £1.30.
He hasn't started yet.
It's
a pound.
No, it isn't.
It's a pound.
No, I live in...
Just a minute. Yes, I know, but the point is his challenge is correct, because Dale said the cheapest was £1.70, and it's not the cheapest, so Tony's challenge was actually correct. It shows you how they spend their lives, always on the underground. Oh, yeah. Tony, a correct challenge. You get a point for that. You take back the subject of Down the Tube. 29 seconds starting now.
I tried to get a chocolate bar out of one of those machines. We've all attempted to do that. What did I have to use in the end? A rocket launcher. Yes, 10p, 20p, just for a...
Yes, Dale.
Too many peas.
Too many peas.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm being...
No, you're being smart.
I don't know what I'm being, actually.
Nacho.
I don't really want this subject anyway. How much longer have I got?
You've got 18 seconds. The subject is Down the Tube, starting now.
It's the turnstiles that confuse me most of all.
You don't have turnstiles.
You do. When
You have turnstiles at football matches.
That's why you get so confused down the tube.
I know.
But just a minute. No, wait a minute. I'm on Dale's side here because you put your ticket in, so we all go on the tube.
You're the chairman.
And that thing moves like a turnstile, and I think that's perfectly legitimate. 16 seconds with you, Dale. Another point starting now.
Whatever it is that you impale yourself on when inserting your ticket, usually yellow, hopefully you will not be met by a guard who will ask to inspect it. This is because generally I've bought the wrong one for the journey I wish to take. Usually I'd spend less than £1.
Tony Banks.
The word usually
He
is
did the word
quite a
usually
number of
before.
times
Yes,
there.
yes.
Is it nearly over?
Yes. Tony Banks, you've cleverly got in with only 3 seconds to go on the subject. Down the tube, starting now.
I use the London Underground every single day of my life, and I must tell you that the Central Line...
Hey! Wow!
We're in there.
That whistle tells us that 60 seconds are up, and whoever is speaking at that particular moment gains an extra point. On this occasion, it was Tony Banks, so he's in second place. It's Dale Winton's turn to begin. What I overheard, Dale, that's the subject. Can you talk on it? 60 seconds, starting now.
What I overheard in the green room, which is the place where we go before coming to do Just a Minute, was intimate apparel talk. Mariella Frostrop's personal belongings were said...
Mariella, yes.
Hesitation.
Hesitation,
You have the
yes.
point, actually.
You have the point, because you've got it from the Midlands as well as yourself. 50 seconds, what I overheard, Mariella, starting now.
The conversation that Dale is referring to was between Tony Slattery and myself, and I don't think I need to go into any further detail about it.
Yes, right, Dale, you got in first.
Well, I do apologise,
You
but
don't
I...
apologise, you want to get as many people.
Now, I'm apologising because I've got to take on the subject, and I don't want the subject, but I would say a hesitation.
Dale,
How much have we
Winton,
got left?
Jimmy, let me tell you, you've got a correct challenge and a point and 27 seconds. What I overheard, starting now.
What I overheard was the barman talking to the lady who serves the drinks. She arrived with a tray of wonderfully decorated little canopies that you might eat, twiglets, things like that. And we sat there munching while another couple further across the room were talking about Mariella. And
That's a repetition of Mariella.
You mentioned Mariella, and though we feel we can't have too much of Mariella, it was repetitious within the rules of Just a Minute. So, Tony, I think you pressed first, didn't you?
Yes.
12 seconds are left, starting now.
What I overheard was rumours.
Hesitation?
What is going on?
Mariella, you got another point. You listened very well that time. What I overheard, 8 seconds, starting now.
What I overheard in the green room was Tony Slattery being offered a large amount of money to take his clothes off, and a lot of other people offering him similar amounts to keep them back on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I have
what
to
was
here's
the challenge?
interesting. Going a bit Welsh. Here's interesting. I was going to buzz for the repetition of amounts, but the first one was amount, the second one was amounts. and
That's
they're different
right, you are
words.
correct. So, you were interrupted just before the whistle went. So, you get another point for that, Mariella. And you have half a second on what I overheard, starting now.
What I overheard...
Yes, right. Wow. Mariella was speaking as the whistle went, gained an extra point for doing so.